In your typical project managed pyramid, you have your main 3 items to get aligned on: objective, roles and responsibilities, and timeline. I'll touch on all 3 of those, but I'm also adding 3 items that I believe will transform your next kickoff meeting. So stick around for those bonus items as we work through the pyramid. Have you ever started building a piece of furniture and thought to yourself, reading the instructions is overrated? Well, I have, and I've also gotten halfway through building the thing and realized I've missed a step and have to rebuild the entire thing from the start. This is the closest process that I can compare to what starting a project without a proper kickoff meeting is like. Trying to jump in headfirst without aligning on the plan is a recipe for disaster. If you're a project manager like me, you are likely well versed in the project, but don't be quick to assume your entire team or your client's team know all the details of the project. Kickoff meetings are the catalysts that drive successful collaboration. They mark the beginning of the project and set the tone for what lies ahead. In today's video, we'll talk through 6 benefits that you get when you prioritize a kickoff meeting. If you're new to our channel, my name's Emma and I work for Bulb Digital. We make all sorts of helpful content around the Microsoft 365 space. So if this interests you, make sure to like and subscribe to get all of the notifications for all of our new videos. The first point on the kickoff pyramid is aligning the project's objectives. You have the project objectives outlined in the contract, sure, but that's only step 1. Contracts are great and they serve their purpose, but it's highly unusual for the entire project team to have been part of the contract negotiation process. And even team members that were likely did not read through every detail, even though we like to think we did. As project managers, it's part of our job to read the instructions for the project, aka the contract. But many team members likely don't know all the details. Not to mention, if the contract was signed weeks ago, we've forgotten all the details. I start here because the primary purpose of the kickoff meeting is to revisit the project objectives and get the team members aligned on the project's goal, scope, and expectations. By clarifying these essential details from the outset, teams avoid misunderstandings and unnecessary obstacles later in the project. This is the opportunity to shape how the rest of the engagement is going to go. This is my first add-on. We call it hopes and fears. So at Bulb Digital, during our kickoffs, we like to do something called hopes and fears. Let me show you how it works. It's a simple yet powerful thought exercise. We ask those attending to write down their hopes for the project and their fears or hesitation about its outcomes or the journey along the way. We do this to get a pulse on participants' attitudes about the project, their hopes for the potential positive impact of the engagement, as well as their doubts. This exercise allows us to address any blind spots or weak areas that may require more attention and ensure we're all on the same page about what we're trying to accomplish. The second point on the pyramid is roles and responsibilities. When you get above a certain number of team members, communication in meetings can quickly become unmanageable, and it's hard to keep everyone in the loop. A kickoff meeting is the opportunity to introduce team members to each other and a chance to discuss their roles and responsibilities. Make sure to answer questions like, who has the technical knowledge for project-specific conversations? Who needs to attend which meetings? And most importantly, who can help schedule the meetings? Asking and defining who to go to will save everyone time and effort. This clarity prevents confusion and streamlines collaboration. My second add-on is to consider upgrading your method of communication. Let me show you how this one works. Email is a very basic form of communication. When you think about basic and advanced methods of communication, think about a landline versus an iPhone. That's the same as email versus Microsoft Teams and Slack. If you have an opportunity to set up a more advanced form of communication, this is the meeting to discuss and implement it. Utilizing a shared Teams channel or a Slack channel can significantly improve team productivity and allow for seamless communication throughout the project. Transitioning to this early in the project will set you up for success. This is also when you can discuss how often you'll need to be meeting and if you need to schedule regular stand-up meetings to check in on progress, or choose to stay aligned through communication channels and forgo weekly meetings. I think everyone enjoys when you can cut out extra meetings. The third pillar of the kickoff pyramid is all about deadlines, and more importantly, starting with realistic deadlines. When we are starting a project and talking timelines, we often hear, "I needed this yesterday." When teams get excited about implementing powerful solutions, it's easy to put pressure on, getting it done quickly, no matter the cost. However, rushing without careful planning can lead to quality compromises and project delays. Remember the furniture example? The kickoff meeting is an opportunity to align on realistic timelines by evaluating the required effort that will be needed on each team's side to meet the deadline. It's best to overlay the timeline with the project milestones to provide a map of the project. You can refer to this map and adjust as needed due to scope changes or disruptions to the project. Setting the realistic end date up front will set the pace for the project. My final add-on is the most important one: a unified team culture. Holding a kickoff meeting will help you build a unified team culture within your organization. I'm saying you should kick off the kickoff. Before the client kickoff, conducting an internal kickoff is vital to make sure your team presents a consistent and unified message. This also allows you to review the deliverables for the project, understand their value to the client, and set measurable success metrics. Measuring the success of the project benefits everyone. You can also run through your internal project checklist and ensure you've properly set up your project in your internal systems, so you can hit the ground running when you kick off with the client. So if you were thinking, do we really need to plan a kickoff meeting? The answer is yes. Reading through that simple instruction pamphlet before diving into assembling your new dresser sometimes feels like the slower option, but we all know it saves time and effort in the long run. Similarly, the project kickoff meeting is so much more than just another mandatory meeting at the beginning of a project. It serves as the critical platform for establishing a solid foundation. By aligning on objectives, addressing concerns, defining roles and responsibilities, and setting realistic timelines, the kickoff meeting empowers teams to begin projects with clarity, focus, and most importantly, unity. Embracing the power of the kickoff meeting not only improves project outcomes, but also empowers the team to overcome challenges and sets themselves on a path to success from the very start. To wrap this all up, if you're in an organization and you've always been curious on how your workplace stacks up to others, we built a free assessment tool where you can spend a few minutes to get a tailored report for your office across 6 key focus areas. Head to bulb.digital/scorecard to get started.